tell them all this stink and dirty.
Oh my God.
Hello, people. Welcome back. It is I, Trini Werewolf, the one and only. And I'd like to thank you all for coming back to yet another Werewolf Hour. It's been a good day. I slept through the entire Champions Trophy. I got up when I think India needed, 14 more runs. I was just sound asleep, completely oblivious to all what was going on. It was amazing. Hello, Mr. Fireball. Good sir. How are you? Oh, this reminds me. I saw this. Sorry. I saw this in the chat before the stream started. Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me. Sir, explain yourself. I'll tell TC to deal with you. Yeah, I'll just leave that there. So you can think about what you've done. Yeah. Yeah, I woke up, I think 12 o'clock. It was a beautiful sleep. What I expected to happen, and there were a few things that did surprise me, but nothing too major on that aspect. So I feel like I think that's something. I think that's probably the first thing we could jump straight into. India winning at home. He heard me mention it. But yes, India have won their third Champions Trophy title. It was kind of expected, but yeah, there were a few things that surprised me. So I felt like now would be a good time to go through it. So Rohit has not won a toss in however many decades, and he did not win it today. So I thought, oh, this would be the opportunity for New Zealand to bat first, put up a convincing total, and then have a chance to defend it. Just given how the conditions in Dubai were, I did think it was a bit odd that they decided to have a used pitch for the final. That I didn't really understand. I mean, yes, they would have had only 4 games in Dubai, but still, to not prepare a new pitch regardless, especially when, well, both teams would have played there. So I think just because both teams would have knowledge of the conditions, it might have been better to prepare at least a fresher pitch. But it is what it is. Yeah. So I honestly thought New Zealand batting first would be good for them, but unfortunately it did not work out that way. They started off kind of watchful, but then as things went on, it was not looking as good. Yeah, I honestly expected it. I don't think I expected much from Will Young, even though that sounds bad. I feel like in terms of him being the first wicket to go, I had no issue with that. Honestly, the 2 big wickets in the top order were Rachin and Kane. One of them had to have batted deep, and sadly, neither of them were able to go through. Rachin at least gave them like a solid start, or like a quick starter. But yeah, just great bowler from Kuldeep. Again, it just shows that the conditions suited spinners so much better compared to Pakistan that just a shift in playing into different places could really affect you. Oh yes, post the StreamYard link. Yes, thank you for the reminder, Jacob. I am so sorry. Let me do that now. How do I do that from here? Let me see. Okay, invite. Copy that code, and I'll just drop this in here. Thank you so much. I don't know how I forgot that. I made sure to mention it. Yes, I apologize, people. So yeah, if anyone wants to jump in and just discuss anything in particular, feel free to. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, the last thing I was saying was, yeah, the top order didn't really do much. If I had to pick someone to bat through, given how they were playing, I would have expected it to be Rachin. Yeah, just good bullet from Kuldeep. Now, this is the other thing that I feel really hampered. The next 2 batters really hampered New Zealand. Darryl Mitchell, despite the 63, he got out of 100 balls. He batted 1/3 of the game. and I just feel like that just sucked the momentum of it. It was similar to that innings from KL Rahul in the ODI World Cup final, where I think it was like just over 50 for 100 balls, and I think like just 1-4. Yeah, just dotted up the place. It did not help as much as it should have, despite it being 63. I mean, given where they were, what over was that even? That was 20th. Why can I not check it? Why can I not check it? Oh, that's strange. Oh, I'll just look it up here. 45th overall. I thought it was way later. Yeah, given where he was in that game, I felt like he could have tried to kick on a bit earlier. But yeah, no one else was a really contributor. This is the name that's always bothered me. I said this in the first scoop shot video I posted. I always thought that Tom Leighton would be a liability to New Zealand if they had to. Well, not. I don't want to say that's a. I feel like batting first. No, chasing. I don't feel like chasing. He'd be more of a liability just because depending on whenever he came in, he wouldn't be able to add any momentum. He'll just like drag them down. But in this case, batting first, given where he came in, yeah, he didn't contribute anything. That was my concern. I was just worried that if in the event that say New Zealand were like maybe let's say they were 251, but they were 40 overs in, and instead of sending in Glenn Phillips, they sent in Tom Leighton, and he put up innings like this, the match could have been lost right there. Now it is a match losing innings, but still, there are just so many situations, given how ODI cricket has progressed, that given the form he's in, he was just eating up balls, not doing anything. They might have been better off sending in Glenn Phillips ahead of him. Yeah, just didn't contribute to. At least they got something from Bracewell towards the end, but yeah, 251. Maybe you think it might have been pretty good, but yeah, they don't want to know for sure. And then when it came to the chase, pretty straightforward. Oh, I didn't actually check the bowling. Oh my goodness, Shami went for a lot. That's way more than I expected. Yeah, just the four spinners. Yeah, they dotted up the entire place. That was good for India's sake. Um, yeah, Rohit would run, Shubman did it. This is something that a lot of people talk to me about. A good few people asked me if they think Kohli's due for bad innings, and it was. It just didn't really matter given everything else that happened. I mean, the entire batting order showed up in parts, so nothing much you could say. One over left. Yeah, had this been maybe a 70 or an 80, or this maybe had been maybe like a 20 from 30, it could have been a much closer game. But yeah. In India do win at home. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Oh, who's this here? Is that Jacob? Hello, good sir. Are you ready to come on? Okay, let's see. Hello.
Hello, it is I, from the accursed lands of the north, coming to speak about cricket, very rare occurrence.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, just a bit tired. I've been cleaning up for the entire day, prepping for this.
Yeah, understandable. What I just wanted to talk about is just, I don't, honestly, I feel like the talk about the travel is kind of missing the point about India's advantage, which, I mean, it's not entirely missing the point in that it's based in what India's global cricket advantage is. But what I feel like the focus should be on more than anything is just how much market control India has. It's not that even their geopolitical power or anything like that allows them to just like bully other countries into just basically making Pakistan's tournament their home tournament. It's just they have so much more market power than any other cricket country, and it's just I don't see how anyone but Australia really competes with them in the next decade. Certainly in white ball cricket, maybe less so in tests. Just, I mean, the stat that India generates 70% of the revenue in world cricket is a misnomer in the sense that if they were just operating by themselves, they'd be generating a lot less money. But they do have control over a lot of that 70% of money. They basically control the ICC. They basically control ICC tournaments, and they just have so much money to pour into their development that, like, do you see a pathway for any team to catch up to them? I don't. Um,
Yeah, honestly,
Australia
not.
is operating. Sorry, just
That's
one
okay.
final thing. Australia is operating at like they were ahead of the game, so to speak, and they have a very athletic culture. They Australia does have some advantages that allows them to compete, but just the inequalities in cricket are just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse over time as India solidifies their control over world cricket and as cricket retreats in certain places. It's definitely retreating in South Africa to a degree, definitely retreating in in the West Indies. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the solution is. Like, I'm just in a place where this Champions Trophy just made me really depressed. Not in the sense that India aren't deserved winners, and like they played great cricket. They did their best. They're a very good team. It's just how are we ever going to get a team as good as them beyond just discovering freak generational talents? So
Yeah.
that brings me up to the point where I wonder if it would be best for the global game if India actually did go it alone.
Hmm.
Like this is what I was trying to say. Would global cricket be better if India goes it alone and the other countries have to find a way to first make the game sustainable and like financially sustainable, and then just find a way to translate that financial stability to the local field? I think that I just I think it might be better. I don't have a I haven't thought this out as much as I should, but
That's
I
okay.
think it's just something worth putting out there. Is it's a big fear of a lot of countries actually in cricket that India will leave the ICC and just focus on themselves in cricket. I think that is a possibility, but I wonder, should it be our big fear? Should it? I don't know if it should.
It's honestly crazy just because of all the jokes we have in the Discord, but even though a lot of it is speculation, so much of it is based in reality because similar things have happened to that extent. Just looking
Mhm.
at how even when they didn't play in Dubai when they had the Asia Cup in 2023, they played in Sri Lanka, but they were also in a monsoon, so India very well could have dictated conditions and had rain stop the game instead of just interrupting most of them. They could have very easily have not won any games and been knocked
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
So there's things like that where just how they conditions similar to the T20 World Cup with all the time zones and how so much of it didn't really benefit the local people. But yeah,
Mhm.
it does seem like if the big three does want to split, or even if it's just India, again, there's so many things. Although it could just be tied back to IPL, where say if a country decides to protest against something, or if certain players have like, let's use Harry Brook as an example. Let's just say because he pulled out last year because of bereavement. If he does the same thing this year, I'm not saying it is for bereavement, but let's say something does happen that requires him to leave. If they don't consider it something major, they could very well just hand him a ban. And who knows, because so many of the teams share the same owners, they might just feel sour and not let them into any other teams.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, what Errol just said in the comments that like India might be the first team in sports history that are objectively the best team,
Yeah.
but feel the need to cheat and teach their scrubs. It's so like I don't know. I honestly feel like
Yeah.
India feels like they just have this massive chip on their shoulder. There's I think a big insecurity, inferiority complex that they have that makes them do all these like they don't need to cheat. Just they're just better. They are just
They really,
better than
and like what
everyone
Mark said,
else.
a lot of people aren't addressing that India objectively are just probably one of the best teams, but it just how certain things go about. It just seems like this is where they might not be directly given an advantage, but it might just not be as level of a playing field.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, where I don't think it was like I think if India tried to play in Pakistan, I think a lot of their players would have pulled out, first of all. I just I
Yeah.
don't see a way that that was ever going to happen. And so but and so do I necessarily even blame India for playing all their games in the UAE? No. But did they have to play all their games in the same stadium? No. They could have traveled around the UAE, even if they just wanted to stay there. They could have went to Sharjah. They
Yeah.
could have went to Abu Dhabi. They could have done a hybrid model where they played some games in Dubai, played some games in Sri Lanka, or even in India.
Yeah.
There were other options than just chilling in Dubai for a couple of weeks. So I don't even have a necessary problem with that fact. It's that first of all, they did it in the worst way. Then they pretended they didn't have an advantage. Some of the players were open and honest about it, and I respect them for saying that, because that is kind of a brave thing to do, just to admit you're having unfair
Yeah,
advantage.
so I'd have to respect it. I think it's just the way I didn't get to see the full interview because some of it switched to Hindi, but just the way Gambier spoke about it, he made it sound like it was only solely about Dubai being similar conditions to India, but it's just more so that it's just drastically different to where the other 7 teams were playing.
Yeah.
So just that shift. I mean, India could afford to just pick 5 or 4 spinners, knowing they're playing their games in Dubai, whereas all the other teams have to manage picking 11s that could handle batting on flatter wickets, but also have bowlers who are quality enough to at least restrict them to some extent.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, India is always going to have an advantage in cricket because they have the money, they have the people, their infrastructure is not as good as it should be for the amount of money they have, but it's like
That's
miles
a very
ahead of
good point.
I feel like the Indian players and Indian cricketers in general are kind of cheated by their board. They make the board makes so much money, but Indian players aren't receiving anything close to what they should be receiving. Part of it's just there's so much corruption in India in general, and of course there's going to be corruption in their cricket. They don't have enough investment in grassroots cricket. There's a surprising lack of that stuff, and I honestly feel bad for their fans because the facilities in their stadiums are kind of terrible. Like, they're just not treated for great experience when they could be if the Indian Cricket Administration actually cared about doing the right thing by their players and their fans, rather than just caring about dominating cricket and getting fat off of that. And their fans also, I wish Indian fans were more upset about this type thing, but it seems that they're sold by their nationalistic jingoism enough that they just don't care about all the ways they're personally being cheated, because rah 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 India go. So that's a disappointing thing about Indian cricket culture, Indian cricket administration. So
Yeah, that was such a valid point that you brought up there about grassroots cricket, because I watch a lot of cricket for Crickball just to hear their discussions on it. Back when I was not as familiar with it, and I found it very interesting that they spoke about how many emerging players were being brought up just because there's so many leagues going on where everyone's making hundreds, and then when it came to IPL, no one was performing. It's kind of like how when we pull in players from Super 50 and they come to play in all our international teams, no one really performs.
Yeah.
It's like how teams. Sorry to cut you off. It's just that
sorry.
It's interesting how they speak about it, because it seems like they recognize that there's so many people performing that it's hard to tell in so many of these districts where could some of it just be potential, or could it just be just very, very poor conditions? And I feel like some teams have kind of accepted that. So there's kind of a push of letting some of these players might not be ready yet. Let's at least see who's worth keeping on to, or try and get them into more leagues, or like at least leagues for like more of an area, as opposed to just like regular club cricket for them.
Yeah, like India already is the best team in world cricket right now. Maybe not in red ball. I think they're a little bit behind the curve in tests.
Yeah.
They're in a bit of a rebuild there. But in white ball, they're so dominant. Think about how much better they would be if they actually invested properly in grassroots infrastructure, even in professional infrastructure. A lot of the professional infrastructure could be a lot better. And what Errol says is like a great point. Like, Indian fans just don't seem to care first about the way they're being cheated, and the way that their board's behavior is endangering the global game. I'm pretty sure a lot of Indians would be perfectly happy if the sport was only played in India. I think a lot of Indian fans would like that. Um, if not like that, they're at least agnostic to that. I think a lot of Indian fans are just completely agnostic to the sport's existence outside of India.
Yeah.
Really disappointing.
Yeah. The Indians I have spoken to, a lot of them prefer West Indies cricket. Or a few of them just because they migrated here, but a lot of them speak about how they treat some of our players, and given that a lot of them they don't get to see their player, 'cause most people just go straight home. Whereas here they're usually out and about meeting people. So there's that aspect. But just a lot of people see how some of them interact, or just sometimes where instead of just being like a big personality, some things might come across as ego.
Hmm.
It's just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just I really like India's not the first team to have this like dominance over world cricket. England and Australia like killed the game in a lot of countries through their just imperial megalomania. Like, why did the sport die in Ireland? A lot of that was because
Yeah.
nobody in England was invested or cared about keeping the sport alive there. It's gonna die again after in Ireland after having a brief resurgence. Why did the
Yeah.
sport never take off in Argentina? Why did the sport um, never take off in Canada? Because there just wasn't as much. Just like India and Australia, or sorry,
Yeah.
not India, Australia, England and Australia, but particularly England just didn't care. So they're not the first team to show this, but we know the results. We have the results of what happens when you have this complete stranglehold and just utterly insular, selfish behavior. Cricket
Yeah.
could have been so much bigger than it is.
Yeah.
It basically
It's a
lucked
great
into
point,
the
too.
fact that it's played in the most populous region in the world. That's the only reason it's not like rugby, where it's a minor sport played in a few countries
Yeah.
with some significance. Um, it's like first of all, the problem with world cricket in general is that there's nobody running it. Like
Yes.
even
Yes. Speak to them, Jacob. Speak to them.
India is the closest thing we have to running world cricket, and they don't even have as much power as you want someone running cricket to have. Not in the sense you want Indian cricket running, but like if you're going to have someone run cricket, India doesn't have that much power. They're not like a dictator of cricket necessarily. They're just like this big cancerous bully who like they don't have the I feel like they don't have the power to build up things if they wanted to, but they do have the power to just ruin things. Um, if that makes sense. It
Yeah,
takes a
I
lot more.
completely agree.
But the way cricket is administered is kind of similar how to West Indies cricket is administered. We have all these territorial boards. It's so insular. World cricket is not run by anyone. It's all the boards fighting over the scraps when they should realize that if they actually work together, their boards would have so much more money. But they've never really caught on to this fact because they're stuck in this like social Darwinist mode of survival of the fittest. You're right, I think totally correct.
Yeah.
And it's like it's very bleak. It's so bleak. I don't even know what to
I mean,
say beyond that.
even looking at USA, from watching MLC, it's interesting. They do a lot of interviews, and I think one of the important things they addressed was that before they were looking at mostly Indian immigrants to play cricket just because they would have had the experience. But I said that one of the interesting things they did was there are people who played baseball who have expressed interest in cricket just because of MLC, and so they're taking in some people just because of that.
Yeah,
They're not necessarily looking at people who are like in their early 30s to come and play just because they would have migrated
yeah,
however many years ago and are now getting back into it. So at least now looking at like developing like a younger talent pool, like
yeah.
some sort of talent pool in that aspect.
Like speaking about American cricket, I think American cricket's a really great example of how just terrible administration, not so much of the international administration, but just terrible local administration ruins cricket because there's plenty of talent in the United States to make a competitive cricket team. There just is. There's a lot of people here who are recent immigrants or second generation immigrants from cricket playing countries. Um, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who play cricket in this country, and there's a lot of places with actually very decent facilities. I believe there's a club near me in Rhode Island that has
Okay.
like, very, very, very good facilities. But the
I know the
administration
one
of
in
the
Florida. I
yeah
think the issue is just because of all the lightning warning that all the players have to.
yeah there's a recent stadium in Dallas that's or not it's in Dallas or Houston, it's somewhere in Texas. I don't really care
Yeah,
about
I think it's
anything
Dallas. I
south of
remember seeing that too.
I don't care about anything south of me really, but it might as well be a different country. But there's a lot of the talent's never been the problem. It's the fact that the administration is just so incompetent. It's basically run by a bunch of like feudal lords competing for influence. That's how like the U.S. cricket administration is run. It's so terrible. It's very nepotistic. It's very insular too. So many egos floating around. It's if you think West Indies cricket administration is bad, American cricket is so
Yeah.
much worse. It's so bad, and for that reason, it just puts first of all it puts people off playing cricket in general. Like if you want to have a career as an American cricketer, like good luck. You're gonna have to deal with it's like such BS from the administration. You're gonna have to just go through all these hoops. And it's like it's not worth it when there's you can play an American sport and make so much more money, so much more money. And there's no there's the administration is terrible at keeping people into cricket. So third generation immigrants tend to not be into the game that much. Fourth generation, forget it. And it's also just terrible at breaking into non-traditional cricket demographics. That's something like just try and play cricket in the US. It's hard. It's really hard. It is really hard. Like it's really hard to play cricket in anything more than just you and your friends at a park.
Yeah.
There's like, how are you going to do that? There's no clubs to join, or if you are going to join a club, you're going to be there's a lot of insularity. There's a lot of egos. There's a lot of just it's hard to penetrate that barrier.
Yeah.
And
Even
there's no effort made to there's very little
you have
outreach
to get
effort.
people to not just like play the sport, but at least see it as like a career option, but something that they could represent their country for and just maintain interest in it.
Yeah, it's so that's just an example of poor administration, but
Yeah.
and just completely random thought, but this will be my final point, is that I'm just how do I phrase this? I'm trying to phrase this without getting too attacked. The ICC
Go ahead, pop off.
The ICC in general, people always direct their anger at the ICC. The ICC is completely impotent. What the ICC is, it's a glorified what's the word? Hospitality organization. Like that's what it is. It's not there to run cricket. It's there to host events and and low key be a forum for everyone else to just air their grievances. It does not run cricket at all. Not one bit. So I think if us as fans actually want to do something, not that we're going to be able to do anything really, but to at least start to address the problem, I think fans need to understand that we have to not air our grievances at the ICC. I think in a lot of ways the ICC has good intentions. It's just, what are they going to do? They have no power. They only have as much power as the boards give them. Do you know about the U.S. Vice President's role constitutionally?
Yeah.
And basically, the U.S. Vice President's role is to do whatever the President tells them to do. They don't have any power. And that's kind of what the ICC is, right? It does whatever the boards and really the big three and increasingly the big one tell it to do.
Mhm.
And to actually fix cricket, we're going to have to make an international organization with at least some teeth that actually runs cricket. Might not run it that much domestically, but has at least some power to independently act. The ICC just can't independently act. It's basically the UN. Another example, it's the UN of cricket. It's not the FIFA of cricket. It's the UN of cricket. It has no power. It needs to act, and fans are really awful at understanding it.
Yeah, sometimes fans just get a lot of problems, but just where the sport is at this point.
Yeah.
Like I always say, the most important C in BCCI is not the C that stands for cricket.
Control.
Yeah, it doesn't even help that there's so many things that that BCCI could do, or ICC rather could do that don't just make it sound like pandering to BCCI in a way before people start to have issues with it. But then it's always they could come back and say, "Oh, less funding," or "We won't pick these players as often." Oh my goodness! I am up. I have been recognized. Yes, sir. Woohoo! It is Mash himself.
Oh, Bumbleclot. Oh, Rascalot.
I forgot I had that saved on here.
That's hilarious.
I had that saved because I was going to play that. I said that I was going to play that when I was going to discuss England in the Champions Trophy. But then I see March and like, oh, the opportunity is here.
For a moment, I thought he had joined the show. Didn't know what to do.
That was amazing. So sorry to derail your point, but yeah, I definitely agree with you. There's so many things that they could do without starting to get like major pushback or showing bias. But then it's just a matter of if people speak out about it, there's so much repercussions that they could do just because the ICC and BCCI.
Yeah. Anyways, I think I will have to sign off here. I felt I was a bit incoherent. Hopefully, I'll come more prepared next time.
That's all right. Before you go, some breaking news. So Harry Brook did say that he is pulling out of IPL to focus on Indian cricket. Focus on England cricket. So I find that very interesting.
See, my vision is so poor. I have to go like this to read it.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think it's because of how it zoomed in.
There we go. Yeah. No, it was perfectly large. I just am blind. All right, take care. Okay.
Thank you for your time. It was great.
No problem. Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. That was amazing. So yeah, it is interesting that he said he's pulling out just so we could focus on England cricket. This does make me think that they are really seeing him as captain, because it'll just be that England is just so down bad that he wants to like help with them. But yeah, it is likely that we might see him as captain in some shape eventually. Okay, let us move on to something else now. West Indies Championship round 4. There was a lot of interesting things that happened. Oh, some things were not pretty to see. Mr. Fireball, would you like to shed some light on some of those things and help us break down some of the pain that we would have experienced?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Fireball.
The championship round 4. I haven't really been following it that deep, not going to lie to you. But I'm going to talk about one thing. I'm talking about Jamaica for the first and foremost.
Yeah.
What's going on with Jamaican cricket? Like, serious talk. Like, I know Jamaica was struggling, and I understand that, but 44 all out?
Yeah, when I saw that, I didn't even know what to think. All I thought was, I honestly don't know what I could say there. I'm just like, I think I literally saw 23 for 5. I was like, oh, this is it. It's done. They're done out here, and then it didn't get better. They at least had a better second innings, but that's still not saying much. It was not at all.
Yeah, second innings because Guyana allowed them to, because Guyana should have played the follow one. Guyana should have pulled them out twice.
Yeah, I will give them a little slight for choosing or rather wanting to get them bonus points, but so just ensuring that victory, it might have been. Yeah, I feel like they really could have just put them out of their misery and just put them into bat again.
I think
It might have been real jokes. It would have been very funny.
King struggled. I think King struggled for both innings, right?
I think he made a 50 in one of them. Let me see. Yeah, 53.
Good. Kirk McKenzie make 147, so he might be back in West Indies cricket.
That shocked me.
No.
Yeah,
Odin Smith got 5 for this game, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane. Which is another reason why I don't really hype up these youth men. If Odin Smith getting 5s, I can't hype up these youth men doing worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
another game I was keeping an eye on was West Indies Academy versus Trinidad and Tobago. West Indies Academy basically did like what West Indies does. They had Trinidad and Tobago by the throat and they let Trinidad and Tobago get away with it.
Yeah.
I think there was 101 for like 7 or 6, something stupid like that. And they have Trinidad and Tobago make nearly 300. Which is, at least these youth men learning West Indies very early, yes? Learning how to be West Indian early.
Yeah.
True.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, they were 170 for 7, and then they kept making 304.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up to Josh for an next 100, but yeah. It's issues that are also reflected in international cricket where once they have the team nearly all out, they just can't manage to get the last 2 wickets. Yeah. Oh, they need to call up Jerry. Oh, yes, TC. I completely agree. Errol, I think someone had checked it, and I don't know if it's right, but I think I saw somewhere that the worst score might have been 16 all out. I don't know if that's true, but it's just more pain.
Lee Woods and Winwood. CCC played this round, yeah. CCC. I didn't watch the CCC game or the Lee Woods Winwood game.
Yeah, I looked at a few of them in and out. The only one, apart from Jamaica, surprising me, not in a good way. Winwood's winning did shock me a bit, especially by an innings. Let me see who. I think it was just Shadrach who made runs. Shadrach is a weird person because I think for the last West Indies Championship on Super 50, he played the first game and then that was it. I think they had just dropped him right after. So there's at least people getting more than one game, which is a good thing. But yeah, it's just no one really standing out as much.
Oh yeah. So one thing that stand out to me is I think his name is Vikash Mohan. He got dropped for TN Webster for some reason.
Oh my goodness.
I think Webster failed twice, thank the Lord. So hopefully you'll see him again.
Yeah, I remember watching him, I think, in CPL, and I just remember, I think Simon Dole said it best where certain players like this, they just need to be put out the pasture.
Yeah, he could be club cricket. He need to be playing the T20 Blast tournament right now, Puran and them. I don't want to see him in my regional circuit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the stuff they have here. Oh, wait, that's I think that's Women's Super 50.
Speaking of women's, big up the CT girls for winning Super 50.
Yeah. They did very good. A lot of some matches were very, very down bad because the average person would not tune in to see a team struggling to chase 70 something. But they did have a good few standouts.
Yeah, the batting was down terrible. The entire tournament, the batting was horrible. But the bowling was great. Ramnarak did as great as That's great. Anissa should return and play she first ever test match. Come on, Anissa, that's unretired. It's a big test match against Australia. Might get destroyed, but play one test match.
Yeah, so them really should.
What's the youth girl name? I think Ramnat. She was pretty good.
Yeah.
The batting, I have nothing good to say about the batting, but I expected that with the batting.
Yeah. It's tough like that, but there's improvement in some aspects. But it's just not enough to say that. Or it's again similar to the West Indies men, where there's no one who's outstanding to just jump straight into a team, but there's enough to say that they can make an A team. But just we don't have any A team.
Yeah, we don't play much cricket in general.
Yeah. Also, I don't understand why they have a link on the site for articles, photos, and videos when they never have anything. Like, all I have to just this, and this doesn't tell me anything about any of the matches. There's no way this is. He looks so upset. I don't know what happened. I don't know what game he was watching.
Man watching 40.
Yeah, they took a break and saw 44 all out.
Jason Mohammed still top scorer, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh no, Errol says he's too old. They don't need any more all-rounders in West Indies cricket. Oh, that's it. That's our only hope.
Why? This is why I hope some man that's gonna listen to me. This is why I don't pick up these youth men in this tournament. If Jason Mohammed is my top scorer, like, come on, man. Like, as much as I cuss Alec Atenis, he's the best we got. Josh Silver too. The man came halfway there.
Yeah, I said this in the Discord. Alex is the person who gets me the most vexed, solely because he'll deliver in the first innings, and then I don't know what happens in the second innings.
Alec and Josh get out by the two most stupidest LBWs I've seen.
Yeah.
I'll still ride them the most these men in this region.
Yeah. It's that problem I see so much, even in Super 50 and for the championship. Why does everybody feel the need to just suddenly shift to standing on off stump and then try to just flick everything and get out LBW, or just go for a big whoop after a drink break and get out?
Lack of composure, lack of mental. I'm surprised Trinidad's doing well. Trinidad is doing so well in 40, but I expect Guyana to beat them.
Yeah, they should. If CCC and West Indies Academy go the entire thing without winning anything, I feel like that just might be the sadder part. Given that the Academy for Developing Players hasn't won anything, they at least had one draw, but still to not win anything is.
I don't really mind the Youthman losing. Youthman did all right against Trinidad, even though they threw it away. They can at least walk out with their head held high against Trinidad. Yeah,
if they at least get maybe another draw, that's at least fine. But just to say that they're just constantly losing is still somewhat of an issue.
CCC is more worrying. The CCC is a bunch of like grown ass men losing. Yeah. Badly.
Who even played in CCC recently? Let me see if I have it here. Who played in CCC? I have Johan Jeremiah, Camille Puran. I have some people there. Just more pressure. I think 200 all out, 262 all out, 193 all out. Barbados winning easy. And nothing to really challenge anybody. Yeah.
I want to see how. Sorry. Man gonna take our middle order lineup right just now. Yeah, take our 2 to 7 average.
Man said he's gonna see. Man said he's Kirk watching Jason Mohammed and Warwick on bowling.
You see how offspring men scared one time.
Man said he's gonna help grow back some grass in Sabina Park.
Oh, God. Speaking of Josh Silva, with Josh Silva performing in 40, do you think Josh Silva is a reason to not to be forgotten, like not to be dropped in this good world? Because Josh Silva's like 27, still pretty young.
It's hard to think about, especially because he got being a drop. So like, not of saying what warranted a drop to begin with was a lack of performance, and then he comes back, performs well. And then would they just bring him straight back in? I'm interested to see if they swap it and say, okay, it might be time to have Josh be the incumbent and give Imlak the run. But given that Josh had been there for so long, it's a matter of if they might just say, okay, he might have just been in a rut and gotten out of it. But I feel like they might, like they're just unprecedented. They might be tempted to give Imlach as much of a run as Josh got.
I know I might get cussed for this, but I think I would rather Josh probably try himself at 3 or 4 than Django. Because Django's now playing 3 and 4. Yeah?
Yeah.
Django's now playing 3 and 4 in red ball cricket. That's not his actual position.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind putting Josh at 3 and 4 and trying him, but
yeah. It's weird seeing people bat high up in domestic cricket, and then when it comes to West Indies, some people are batting like 6 and 7. Yeah, Errol. It does seem like if Josh didn't have the wicket keep, he might be more consistent. But if he wasn't wicket keeping, then he more likely would be batting higher up. But even so, most countries have their keepers batting at 5. There's only a few that bat so long as Josh.
Yeah, what's his name is? This keeper, this guy in England, he bats at 5. What's his name is?
Jamie Smith?
Yeah, Jamie Smith.
Yeah. I don't know what India was thinking putting him in at 3, the Champions Trophy, but at 5 in Test cricket, that seems to be all right.
But to be fair, historically, West Indies never had like great batting wicket keepers. So all the wicket keepers in West Indies history never averaged higher than like 32, if I'm correct. Like so we always had like the lower scoring wicket keepers.
Yeah. Not to say they're purely specialist keepers who batted like 7 or 8. But still, the bar is set lower, but it's just a matter of someone having to like kind of raise it and not just keep meeting it or just being just below it. So I definitely feel like Josh could make a case for coming back in, but he might just have to sit on the bench and let Imlach get a run.
Yeah.
Jason Mohammed still with 500 runs, 3 rounds left. It's very possible he could make 1,000.
Oh God! Like this man is 38, and since after like Ganga like basically say why old self playing in these regional tournaments, this man ended up going to another level. Like it's bad mind. This man's on. The man is on bad mind. This top scorer in 40. I still say not to pick him because it'll take him too long to acclimatize to Test cricket. And by the time you acclimatize, he's 41. And at a point in time, I just give a younger man, even though I'm cussing these young men, I just give a younger man that chance to acclimatize.
You very well just tell him, hey, you've done well. Would you be interested in doing something with coaching? Or if not, he might just stick to domestic for like maybe one more year. But yeah.
I understand Jason Momoa need to make peace.
Yeah.
Iman is important. If Trinidad and Tobago Red Force win their first 40 in like what 19 years, I'll big him up, but I don't think he should play West Indies cricket.
Yeah.
Right now. He's too if he was 35, 36 out of bat for him, he's 38.
Yeah. I do like seeing Josh at number 3. Not just in the battle lineup, but at number 3 in most runs scored. That's good. Craig is finally here. I didn't see Craig last time though. So at least he's now in the top 5.
Yeah, he came halfway through like Josh Silva, and he came here in the top 5. People want him dropped.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Drake's and Evelyn?
I haven't seen as much, but I think in terms of at least consistency in our essence, they're okay. If we had 18 cricket, it'd be so much easier to say that they could be given a chance.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like at least one of them would probably have to get a chance in something.
Yeah, South Africa next in an 18 tour. I say play them in South Africa 18 tour.
Yeah. I don't even know if they play Super 15. So like, they might get a chance there. I think I remember seeing Drake, but I don't know if I saw Evelyn. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, Errol, that was Darren Michael Bravo, which was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. He just put up that nice poster. For all we know, that could be hanging up in the dressing room.
Poster holds a bat spin. I know he right now playing club cricket.
Yeah,
he's not really studying West Indies now.
He's playing club cricket where people are getting 4 overs and 5 overs in 2 overs.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I've seen some of the graphics. Is disgusting. You mean to tell me you bowl 2.1 overs? You barely bowl more than 10 balls, and you have 4 wickets?
Run to play a little 4-day, but the man said, nah, I'd rather play this T20 festival to Trinidad. You don't have to travel. You can just practice for IPL. Oh, jeez. I can't custom. Yes, I can't custom. I'm tired custom to run.
Yeah.
The man making...
I mean, the man make 100 from 30. Well, he could have. He's not even keeping. He could just run up and bowl down men. He could get his own 5-4.
Yeah, run. Go bully off spin.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
Yeah, real pressure. Okay, let me see what Drake's scores were. 70 and 26, 117, 108 and 52, 30. Yep, everything seems pretty good. Definite 80 potential if they had, but we just had to see how the rest the other 3 games go. He didn't maximize against CCC. That's the thing. But he did only he did only bat once. But that's something against West Indies Academy. Well, he didn't play them yet, so I'm expecting 100 from at least one of them. Yes. Note the forum.
Oh, Jesus Christ, cricket form.
Yeah, some of the videos I've seen there have just been too much.
Yeah, Steph just keeps showing me them videos. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Uncle will get me vexed.
Yeah. I'm looking at Evelyn's recent matches. He's only played a Super 50. Well, he played Championship last year, and then nothing until Champion this year. So, like, man, played any Super 50 at all?
What nation he hails from?
Barbados. He's 23. I'm surprised he didn't go straight to Barbados then.
Barbados kind of tossing some of their players, their YouTuber around, you know. They're not doing as Jamaica. Oh, look. For Miss TC uncle, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, the allegations. Oh, no.
Oh God. Cricket farmers.
Yes, for him. Yeah.
He probably the son TC for supporting Guyana.
Yeah.
Right.
TC was up. It was a cycle of either Jerry up and TC's down, or TC's down and Jerry's up, but never both.
Yeah. Right now, I'm watching the top performers with the bat, and the only ones that no one really brings joy to me. Youth men don't bring joy.
Yeah.
And the middle order is like terrible. Like the middle order is not good, but I say at least with Hodge, Alec, and Django now, they have I rather those than Drake's than Drake's the Elvin right now.
Yeah. And nothing to really wow anybody, but I just find it the main thing that's standing out for me in this Super 50 this championship is who is this Ali Mohammed fella, and why is he's matching up in so many different things. He's 4 for most. He's the only pacer with in the leading wickets. He has the most 6s. I don't know why they don't have most 4s on here. I feel like that might be more valuable. He's in one of the best bowling figures. 6 for 17 is just. Is 6 for 17 more shocking than 8 for 27? Because 8 for 27 you'd expect from a spinner, but 6 for 17 a pacer just matching up an entire team.
Ronaldo Ali Mohammed, yes.
Yeah.
The problem with Ronaldo Ali Mohammed, this man we have Shema, Seals, and who else? Shema, Seals, and Roach.
Yeah.
He probably take over Zari's spot on the bench, but
yes,
I don't know what else.
Yes, speak to them, Fireball. Yes, I was waiting to see if you would someone mention Azari. Yes,
he might take over Zari's spot and give Seals and Roach some water, but I don't see him make it anywhere near the style of it. So. But I'm glad to see him, especially from Guyana, showing up, especially with the name Ronaldo Ali Mohammed.
Yeah.
Big bad.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in the Amazon warehouse. I'm like, oh, they got a local man to replace Odin. and then he never played. And then I'm seeing him here like, oh, this man, there's something here. I don't know if it's to say there's potential, but I just find it very funny that he has his name in a host of other places where you wouldn't really expect it to.
Yeah. If he does good in the tour, I'll drop Azari for him.
Yeah.
All due respect. He's not starting for me, but I'll drop Azari to the front.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even know if he's done anything with runs per se. I've just seen mostly wickets. I think he had like a 70 or like an 80 and something. I haven't checked it on here because you can only see the top 5. And Cricket 4 doesn't even have it. I have to search manually in upcoming matches to look for stuff.
Oh, I'm watching the most wickets right now. Carly Pierre don't make anywhere near my team. There's both Multi and Workins above him. He's just unfortunate for him. But big up Carly Pierre for one thing. The man give us a King. Yeah. Most people will not give anybody a spot like that, like a who could be his competitor. The man give a a platform. Big up Carly Pierre for that.
Yeah. I mean, he helped to help mash up teams with St. Lucia Kings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big up Carly Pierre. He's on my side.
Imagine trading a spinner for a bench player like DL.
Oh God. Well, Workin is most likely my frontline spinner right now. My frontline left arm spinner.
Yeah. And I'm now saying Ali Mohammed scores. He has 35, 77, 66, 10 and 1.
The man might probably batter 3 in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I get dropped.
You might really have. My
goodness. Lord. But hopefully, we gotta put him in the 18 tour first, and if he does go in the 18 tour, then we could talk about Zari's been terrible in Test cricket.
Yeah, 18 tour is the only way we could judge people, just because there's so much senior men and so much youth men that everything is so skewed that you can't really judge them against anybody who's on their level.
Pomal does what Pomal does. He's not gonna get picked again. He's lost his chance, unfortunately.
Yeah. Cornwall's the only spinner who doesn't have a 5-4. I think literally everybody who does spinner at least has one 5-4. Which is crazy. I think Carrie Pierre has 3.
Carrie Pierre just there, just bonus left arm slow, and then getting up by it. I wish I could see him to play some 4-day, but I don't. I guess that's not gonna happen.
Yes, sir. I'll speak to them. Man can't bowl 2 deliveries in a row on the same line. Yeah. I think things tough for the way man's kind of falling off, but I'm also surprised Sammy picked him in his PSL team.
Sammy. The only reason why I'm picking up Ali Mohammed over these other youth men, people picking up Ali Mohammed and bringing up the numbers, and we need seamers, right?
Yeah.
We have 101 spinners, but we lacking. We have like top seamers, but after that, the drop off is huge.
Yeah, we don't need more left arm orthodox, please. We could barely bat against it.
So if the youth man is on the bench as an understudy, I'm happy with that. He doesn't start in my 11, but play 18 tours, be understudy. Let Roach and now Seals and Seals put him under his wing and then learn like that. I don't mind that.
Yeah. Ford is at least an interesting one. I don't think he's really done much after I think that first inning, but I've seen him like get wickets here and there.
I wouldn't be against Ford getting a pick. Yeah. Ford and then I wouldn't mind Shepard getting a pick 2 in an 18 tour too, because the man actually said he wanted to play Test cricket.
Yeah.
Give him a call. I wouldn't mind those two getting experiment in Test cricket either. Shepard might be like Seals, the man might be terrible, might be horrible at white ball cricket with the ball, but be good at red ball cricket with the ball. You probably never know.
I don't know. People just might not have never gotten the chance to play it, and for we know, they could be at least decent too.
Yeah.
No one might be on the level of Seals.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wouldn't say no to Shepard getting a chance to. Shepard, man was the top scorer in the 18 tour at Puran played. So.
Yeah.
That's a while ago, but Yeah, I wouldn't mind Shepard.
Yeah. I have biased the chemo just because of how well he came back when Guyana won, and then he didn't get like any chances last year. But I do think he I've seen a few posts from him on social media. I think some family members aren't well, but then that's why he's not playing anything. I think I remember hearing that he was absent for one game because I think someone was sick in his family. So I don't know if that's the issue why he's not playing. But yeah. Yeah, definitely Shepard. There's a lot of people who could be given a chance. If anyone comes out and says that under Desi that they said they wanted to and they were never picked, then everyone might just start to jump into the team.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to bring up when it comes to relating to 4-day championship?
Nothing really. I just to go over this round, and I'll see Mash posted his review video. So I don't know if he was in here taking notes, scoping our competition. Earl brings up how Shepard might not have the discipline. Maybe, I mean, people struggling to bowl the 10 overs in ODIs, but they can at least develop and they just constantly bowling. They can figure out, this works. Let me see if I could develop a skill set where I could constantly bowl something like this, or just develop a skill set in a sense.
I could be wrong. My problem with Shepard is him kneeling his variations. This man usually not good at variations.
Yeah, the only variations that people have are ball that's a dot, ball that goes for 4, and ball that goes for 6.
I think in Test cricket he could probably just have like one line and stick to it.
Yeah.
Like feels like the bowl a foolish line and just stick to that. While in white ball cricket, we ain't bowling a foolish line this game, this legs.
Yeah, here's what it is like that. If we had someone who could just stick to doing one thing or just like bowl a certain way and just either force someone to have to leave or play, then that can at least help. There's at least some level of control. I don't mind no wickets. Yeah, my man just might out wide Yorkers for no reason.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not against Shepard. I wouldn't mind giving Shepard like an 18 tour if he wants to play the 18 tour. I don't think he has any IPL to play.
No, he did get picked. He did get picked for RCB. I think it was RCB. Yeah, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play over Tim David unless things just sour.
Tim David, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so much of the IPL team's funny because it just all the West Indians just getting shuffled around and no one's been worth keeping. Yeah. I saw on Cricket Buzz the best wording was you see where some of the West Indians who performed well against India got big deals, and they said, look at Odin Smith. Now I haven't seen anything from him in years, but he performed well and he got a big deal. So that's just a perfect example where he got through, didn't perform, and then absolutely nothing ever since. I think the only cricket he played last year was just CPL.
The man playing 4-day because he might have no cricket to play.
Yeah, that's it. I think CPL was the only franchise he played. I don't think he got through with anything.
Odin Smith was a white ball player, and the man playing 4-day because he had man have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And the man got a 5-5, against Guyana, not CCC, not West Indies Cricket Academy, a 5 against Guyana. The 4-day Kings, Right.
Yeah, real pressure.
Drove up, his boy got 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Big up the Kevlar Anderson again. He's there and about. I think he's the first name I would think of to just jump through to A team. He's also somebody who definitely should be in, I think, Amazon Warrior side. So I think he's been there for 3 seasons and played 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin is a name that I've been hearing for a while now. He should get 18 shot.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's something Guyana could have used the Super League for, just to pick up was it not full member nation teams and just associate nation and just have them play the Super 50 team and see how it goes. So you very well just shift it up and like give them some form of development, as opposed to just bringing in people who play for other teams just because they didn't have players.
Well, yeah, surprised She-Hope, since he was training Bobby was probably not playing for the championship right now.
He posted that he was training for something, but yeah, as far as he's not playing, unless there's some injury he's working out to.
Well, I have none really else to say really about the 4-day championship. You mind if I switch gears and add something to what Jacob was saying?
Yeah, no problem.
Let me see. Let me try to get a smooth segue. Well, I couldn't figure out any segue, so I'll just go ahead and say it. Like Jacob mentioned, people don't know how the IC is run, right?
Yeah,
and I agree. If you guys don't know, the ICC is a members club, a boys club. It's always been a boys club with 12 member nations. You know why the BCCI gets what they want all the time? Because out of the 12 member nations, only 3 member nations will oppose the BCCI: England, Australia, and Pakistan. Afghanistan and Bangladesh owe their full member status to the BCCI. They will never vote against them. Because England and Australia would love to put Bangladesh and Afghanistan in associate help.
Yeah. There's so many things there's so many things that they could do that would either show massive bias to BCCI or otherwise they'll just get a whole sort of, or people will speak out and there'll just be mad repercussions. Like, we're not going to pick you for anything, or a set of coaches might get sour and not pick them for all the teams they have all over the world now.
Like, for example, South Africa had an administrator talked against the BCCI. South Africa lost games on their tour when India came, which means losing of TV revenue. The BCCI has done it in the past. You want to talk against us? No, less games on your tour, no tour at all. West Indies won't need the tour. New Zealand needs the tour. Zimbabwe needs the tour. Ireland would love a tour. Bangladesh and Afghanistan in BCCI's pocket.
Yeah. Not Dubai is in all these other games. They could just make it a neutral venue, have a set of games there, or just do like just fling a set of tri-series there. Just have all these teams who never play each other just play for like a week, and just do something to at least help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking about this with Osprey at some point. I'm gonna have to ask him if he wants to come on that time, but we were looking at how to redo franchise league to make it more regional. And one of the examples I had was thinking about was if they regulate it so that they have only a certain number of franchise tournaments in a certain year. Like, say 1 year they don't have Bangladesh Premier League. They can say, okay, to compensate for that, we'll give you like a full tour of some country. So you get T20s, ODIs, and a few tests. And to just bring in all that money.
Yeah, bring in all that money and revenue.
Yeah. There's a few that you would imagine would stick there for a year. But just like some form of compensation said, just so we don't have people traveling back and forth with so many current leagues. This is a way that we could compensate you for it.
Yeah.
And at least still give your players a chance to play.
Yeah. Like, the way cricket is run is not a real sport at all, because Jacob mentioned, like, alluded to this, ICC isn't FIFA. FIFA has some sovereignty. FIFA not going to get bullied by Brazilian football, for instance. Brazil is basically India's equivalent when it comes to football in terms of population and popularity of the sport, right?
Yeah.
Brazil cannot run football like India could run cricket. And I honestly blame ECB and Cricket Australia for this because they made the system. South Africa also had a part to play in this boys club system, but they way far gone when it comes to power. I blame ECB and Cricket Australia. Jacob also alluded to India having bad infrastructure for the power they have.
Yeah.
When South Africa was like the head honcho of cricket, they ran cricket sports-wise. They win every tournament. India, in my opinion, has been underachieving since they took that crown. Even though they won the Champions Trophy, they won the T20 World Cup. They had about a decade plus of not winning any ICC trophies.
Yeah.
Even though they had the administrative and control and had the most money.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've seen so many funny stories about all the problems that have happened with some of the domestic cricket, specifically Delhi. There's so many issues with Delhi. Supposedly, they had an issue where two coaches were fighting, and both of them sent two different teams to play a day. And they ended up canceling the match, and both coaches gone to a fight outside the stadium.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And then I have issues where they'll tell people, or they'll just have vendors against people and tell them not to come to the match or just stay in the hotel and just a host of that madness.
Yeah. The BCCI is basically Cricket West Indies with a Gucci belt on them.
Mm-hmm.
They have similar problems to West Indies cricket, but they're so big and so powerful. They tend to be on paper the best team around it.
Yeah. They at least have better ways to manage talent, just because they have issues that they address, issues with shallow batting, so they got more all-rounders, and they gave some of them the chance to bat higher up, so you have people who could just come in, or at least get people to bowl more often, but still contribute with the bat.
One thing about India talent, they could do what the PCB is doing now and what Cricket Westies did in the past without any repercussions. They could give their players ultimatum and say, "Aye, if you want to play with the BCCI, you can't be playing these franchise leagues." And unlike Pakistan cricket and Cricket West Indies, the player won't tell them, "Well, we'll just retire, hard lucks." But the money the BCCI can offer and the nationalism that goes into it and the pride, they more than likely the player will happily take these terms and just play IPL for the rest of their lives, really, until they reach 40. So they have control of the players like what no other board has, even ECB and Cricket Australia.
Yeah, even when some of the Indians who are retiring jumped to play franchises the same year, they then imposed that you have to wait a year. So some people had to cancel their deals. They probably felt like a host that people might just announce retirement and go play in a down bad day where they could shine.
I noticed they don't have a restriction for the women. See, women can play franchise cricket, but when women's cricket,
I find it very interesting. You'll see the Indian players in 100. You'll see some of them in CPL.
Yeah, the women can play anywhere, but the men have to stay at home, which I find interesting. Anyways, I think I've ran out of stuff to talk about. It was nice.
No problem.
It was nice chopping it up with you.
Yep. Yeah, they've been very fun.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Take care.
Well, people, I feel like that's it for me. Our 115. It's been an incredible show. Big up to Jacob and Fireball for all their contributions. We got through all the big topics I wanted to talk through. So we ended up mixing in Women's Super 50 and 4-day championship and Champions Trophy. So everything worked out perfectly. Thank you all for joining. I don't know if I'll upload. I might want to try and upload a video. Today's the 9th. I might upload a video Thursday or Tuesday, but I'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you all for coming. It has been very, very fun. I need to go drink some water. I don't know how Mash deals with this. I've been talking so much. I really need some water. Thanks again, people. Take care. The Werewolf Hour is officially over. Oh.
Tell them all the stink and dirty, stink and dirty.
Oh my God.